Hey guys, Wilfie here, along with Her Highness Calypso. Hate to say it, but this is probably going to be the last video I ever upload to YouTube because I'm really just tired of dealing with their ridiculous garbage. So they went back. They've been reviewing, for whatever reason, videos that were published on my channel maybe 8 to 10 years ago. They've age-gated a bunch of the Skyrim playthroughs, which doesn't really matter to me. But they actually took down one of my videos today. The Saints Row the Third playthrough with me and Mecha Random. Only part 15. Apparently, the fact that she says at one point, jokingly, "I hate women." They flagged that, nuked it. I appealed it, and they rejected the appeal. And they said that if I take this hate speech training with, whenever, that from the day I complete it, 90 days later, the warning on my account will disappear. So I did it because I wanted to see just how insane these people have gotten. Now, because of that offhanded remark by another person on my channel, spoken in jest. Incidentally, I did point out that she's a bisexual woman, and they were silencing an LGBT voice, but, they don't care about that. This is I want to read to you the 7th question of their policy training. I also want to point out there isn't actually any training. It's just 7 questions. They start right away asking questions, and you just have to pick the correct answer. This was multiple choice, and I'm going to read this whole card to you verbatim. And if my video editing skills are decent, I'll try to stuff the actual picture in there too. Question 7 out of 7. I can't even read this. They, of course, show a black person at a podium yelling like this. Interestingly, with his... Oh, no, I guess that is his left hand, so okay. Which is wrong. I'll point that out too. But anyway... Aino, spelled A-I-N-O, because of course we have a multicultural person examining this video, finds a YouTube video in which the video's creator is giving a speech. In the speech, the man urges members of the audience to donate to the cause, saying, I'm not making this up, support the white power movement and give whatever money you can. Aino notices that there is a small swastika symbol on the podium behind which the man is speaking. And they do not include that in the example image because, that would be offensive. And the text continues, the video includes no educational, documentary, scientific, or artistic content. And then it's select all the correct answers. There's 4 checkboxes. 1. This isn't a violation because YouTube allows hate speech in a documentary context. 2. This video isn't a violation because no protected group is targeted. 3. This is a violation because the video contains a request for financial support for a hateful supremacist ideology. 4. This is a violation because the video promotes hateful supremacism. Now, they assert that only 3 and 4 are correct. And if you select the other 2, it lectures you about how awful you are and makes you check again. So, I cannot begin to express how insulting and how offensive this is. And I'm going to adopt the controversial position here that that so-called movement that they're talking about, for one thing, doesn't exist in any substantial way, and also is a protected speech under the Constitution and the First Amendment, and the Supreme Court has even ruled that that is not hate speech, and that there is no such thing in the United States. Now, I know that YouTube and every other liberal shithole loves to claim that, we're not bound by the First Amendment, but you kind of are. You just don't realize it, and it's going to be really painful when you eventually get smacked by it. Because you're going to lose your safe harbor provision eventually. That's what's going to happen. Now here is Grand Wizard Blue. He is my blue supremacist in the house. He represents the gray and blue contingent and thinks all other colors, species, races, everything need to go. He's only got the one member so far, doesn't have a lot of support, but, he's working on it. He can't use YouTube as actually, he can use YouTube as a platform. The reason I say that is because YouTube only seems to ever target so-called white supremacists. Now, I find that fascinating because there are black supremacists, not even just all the people who say, Hail Wakanda, and do that cross-chest gesture, but actual black supremacists, Black Panther types, the Weather Underground types. And they post, they're, what do they call themselves? The Black Israelites. They're a real group. They raise money. They use YouTube to promote their ideals. They're the ones that'll stand out on city streets and say really offensive things to Jewish people as they walk past. YouTube is fine with that. Only white supremacy is considered bad. In fact, the example they give, white power movement, you've also got the same kind of hypocrisy over on Wikipedia. There's this classic meme from 4chan that shows 4 different articles or snippets of an article from Wikipedia. I think it's Black Pride, LGBT Pride. There's one other one. And then there's White Pride. All of them, except for White Pride, are described as empowering, bold, powerful movements under, fighting back, rebelling against oppression, blah, blah, blah. But white power, of course, is considered evil and bad. I wonder what the message there is. The other issue that I have here, they claim that no protected group is targeted, or that's one of their options, and you're not allowed to pick that because it's wrong. But I'm curious what protected group is being targeted if somebody, as part of the white power movement, whatever that actually is just asking for financial support. Which protected group actually exactly is being threatened there? I can't think of any. Because they're not. They're just saying, hey, here's what we think. Although we're not actually listing what we think. Here's the movement name. Give us money. The other interesting thing, number 3, one of the correct answers. Video contains a request for financial support for a hateful supremacist ideology. I wasn't aware that YouTube was in a position to declare or define what constitutes, either hate speech or also terrorist groups, which is essentially what they're calling this alleged white supremacy group. Of course, they don't name it. Can anybody give me the name of an actual white supremacist group? Those don't really exist anymore. They're gone. The Triple K has been out of fashion for 100 years. There's maybe a couple thousand members, and that's according to the most recent FBI stats I can find. Because of course the FBI is deeply concerned about they're not worried about Antifa, even though they're the ones that go out and burn buildings and torch neighborhoods. That's BLM. But no, they're really worried about militias, which they can't ever seem to actually find, and so-called white supremacists and Nazis and KKK members. Now, if they're looking for Nazis, there's a bunch of them out there in Ukraine calling themselves Azov, A-Z-O-V. They actually fly swastikas, and we're cheering for them because they're fighting on the right side of history. Fascinating that those videos don't get defunded or demonetized or just deleted for hate speech. Fascinating. But anyway, the FBI actually tried to figure out, about a decade ago, how many actual white supremacists still live in the United States. And the best that they could figure out is that there's maybe a couple thousand who aren't themselves federal agents who are just infiltrating whatever groups they think they can find. Think about that again. Listen really close to that number. Just a couple thousand. There's 350 plus million people in the United States, legal and illegal. Out of 350 million, there's maybe a couple thousand actual, genuine white supremacists. YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, has spent probably 5 or 6 years, at the very least, developing artificial intelligence technology to go scan probably trillions of minutes worth of video footage in their archives, looking for key phrases with no consideration of context whatsoever, because their AI is so retarded it couldn't figure out that what this got deleted for was a joke and not actually a statement of fact. They have spent over $1 billion on their AI project, various projects. They've laid off thousands of people involved in some of those programs because they failed at making their search engine, Google's search engine, anything remotely reliable. I'm not joking when I say I use Bing now instead of Google. I have for a couple of years now because Google's search is worthless. And I hate Microsoft, and they built a better search engine. And that's not a joke. YouTube spent, well, Google plus YouTube, since they own it, spent over $1 billion on technology to go scrub their slice of the internet of everything they think is hate speech. Everything. No appeal. They say you can appeal, and they said, oh, we'll get back to you within 72 hours. It took them less than an hour to reject the appeal. It's a video game. It's literally a video game Let's Play. And it was a woman who uttered a joke in the context of the game, who's LGBT, by the way, and it got yeeted anyway. That's $1 billion of wasted resources, wasted human effort. All to go back in time, edit history, and delete things that are offensive now, by some definition, and against standards that didn't exist 10 years ago. So, in the face of that kind of nonsense, I'm done. I'm completely finished dealing with YouTube entirely. Now, I will continue to follow a few content creators that I follow on YouTube, but I'm using YT-DLP to download stuff from YouTube without having to see their garbage ads. I will continue to use ad block anytime I have to wander onto YouTube proper so that they are denied ad revenue. And I think if I continue to post any content online at all, it's going to go on Rumble and Odysee. I'll start double uploading over there. Now, I'm probably going to produce one last video after this discussing all the different ways you can defeat YouTube's ad blocker nonsense and download videos from them without having to use their interface, view their ads, and even chopping out embedded sponsor messages and calls to action. There's a way to chop out all that click the subscribe button and blah blah blah, all that crap out of videos. It's called sponsor block, and I'll show you how to use that too. But I'm done. I'm not going to upload to YouTube anymore. After that, this is just ridiculous, and I'm tired of it, to be blunt. I'm not going to delete the channel until they eventually get around to it. I've been getting emails for the past few days that they've been age-gating different bits and pieces of my channel. Mostly the Skyrim Let's Plays from, again, a decade ago. So, for whatever reason, I have attracted the attention of their idiot AI. And it is just very mechanically, very systematically going through all of my stuff. And it's going to find a reason to hit me with 1, 2, 3 penalties, I'm sure. It's inevitable. In fact, the warning system says that if I get a strike, they will prevent me from uploading or posting or doing anything apart from viewing. I can always absorb the propaganda. I just can't ever combat it for 7 days, and then they'll graciously allow me to upload again. Of course, in those 7 days, they'll find some other pair of videos that offend them, and they'll just strike the account and kill it. If you care at all about the content on this channel, I suggest you grab something like JDownloader or YouTube DL or its replacement YT-DLP, which is the maintained version of it, and just set it loose on my channel. You can give it a playlist, you can give it a channel list, and just download everything. You probably need a couple terabytes of space for that. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to preserve off of my channel, you'd better do it now. I'm not going to delete anything, but I don't think YouTube is going to stop until they finally get rid of me. Now, I want to reassure everybody that this is not going to change my political opinions on anything. I'm still going to vote against ESG candidates. I'm going to continue antagonizing woke people as much as possible. The nice thing about being, deplatformed like this by an automated systematic system, see, you can't stop me from saying things I want to say to people like, neighbors who agree with me, church members who agree with me, people at the bar who agree with me, people at work that agree with me. I'm still going to vote for Donald Trump in this next election, and I'm going to laugh at everybody who doesn't. Whether he wins or loses, I'm going to enjoy the entertainment. See, this isn't going to change how I vote. It's not going to change, including in local elections. I do actually vote in all the local stuff, too. I vote out bad judges. I vote in good ones. I vote out bad politicians as much as I can, and one of the first things I check for any politician, red or blue, is whether they've done any kind of woke crap or any cucked garbage. Needless to say, DeSantis here in Florida is going to get my vote this in 2022 here, or 2024. Jeez, forget what year it is. Because, he's given Disney a good spank in the butt, and they deserve it. And he's got the trannies all up in arms about, I guess not banging kids is a controversial opinion, which I will hold until the day I die. And nothing you do, no ban you can issue, will ever change that. So, yeah, this doesn't change my political views. It doesn't change my position on anything. It just adds YouTube to the pile of services that I just don't care to use anymore. And just so you know, I am perma-banned from Twitter, and I have no intention of appealing that or creating a new account. I'm not going to do that here either. And I'm going to do what I can to divest myself of any Google services moving forward. That's kind of a tough, as an Android phone user, that's a pretty tall order. I'm not going to switch to Apple, of course. They're even worse. But I'm going to try to migrate off Gmail, and I'm not going to use Google services anymore, as much as I can avoid them. And I recommend as much as you can to do the same thing. Just ditch this whole thing. These people aren't worth it. It's not worth feeding content to this machine. They are evil. The kind of people who sit in giant labs and have billions of dollars at their disposal to do kind of innovative, world-changing innovation and research. And they piss away their time to turn themselves into a modern-day ministry of truth, punishing people for speaking. That's who thinks they should be in charge. They're the ones who think they know better than you, and by God, they're going to make you change. Even if you're not actually wrong, and even if you've done nothing wrong. The best way to remove their power is to stop using their stuff. Make yourself immune to cancellation, which I pretty much am. I don't derive income from YouTube. I don't derive my livelihood from YouTube. I could completely drop off the face of this digital earth tomorrow. And my job is secure. I make great money. I'm not a public figure. I'm not running for election, so you can't cancel me that way. If anybody is stupid enough to show up at the house, this is a castle doctrine, stand your ground state, so good luck. And that's not just me. My neighbors are rather fond of me too, and they're not too fond of the kind of people who show up to protest. Anyway, just walk away from all this crap. Let Twitter be the cesspool it is. Let YouTube be the garbage dump that it is. I don't imagine that Rumble and Odysee are any better in terms of content. Although they might be, because they maybe don't censor as much. But they're a company. I don't trust them any more than I trust Google. And you should never trust a corporation under any circumstances. They're not your friend. They're in it for the money. They don't care about anything else. And I think Google is one of the only companies that's not directly impacted by the ESG movement because they have more money than God. They don't need investments. They make investments. And they probably have more money than Larry Fink. But they've still drunk the Kool-Aid. And that's arguably worse because they control the biggest soapbox on earth. But if people start walking away and using different ones, the network effect eventually kills everything. Remember, nobody ever thought MySpace was going to go away. Nobody could beat that. Facebook came along kind of out of nowhere and poof, did the same thing. Now you can argue that sure, Facebook is bigger now, Twitter's bigger now, but remember, people are really hoping that Twitter dies. And, you know, Elon Musk has done some interesting things with it, some stupid things, and some really funny things. I personally find it very satisfying that he fired something like 75% of Twitter's workforce, and nothing changed, which shows you how many useless people worked there. I do relish the fact that Google and other leftist companies are laying off employees by tens of thousands of people. No sympathy from me. I've been part of layoffs before, and it was before social media took off, so I wasn't subjected to people laughing in my face about it. And I've always been skilled and competent enough that finding new work is not difficult. I could get laid off tomorrow and have equivalent pay at a different job in about a week. I'm almost 46 years old. I'm at the senior level of my career. I can get a job. I'm not worried about it. Now, a lot of the shitheads getting laid off at the big tech companies, they're not in such good shape. They're used to sitting in high-rise offices making $400,000 or $500,000 a year, sipping on soy lattes, and not doing a whole lot of work every day. Meanwhile, I'm cranking out work tickets for 5 or 6 a day and actually making tangible changes that improve the company's bottom line that I work for. And I can point to that. No matter what happens, if I get laid off tomorrow, I can get on the phone with any number of recruiters. I don't even have to go to companies. Recruiters will beat down my door looking for opportunities to place me. So I'm at that point of my career. A lot of these people over in Silicon Valley getting laid off in the last couple of months aren't. And I laugh at them. You people were part of this monster that is devouring genuine content and silencing legitimate content creators. You. And it delights me to see you lose your livelihood. Go, what did you tell the coal miners? Learn to code or something like that? I think you should do the reverse. I think you should go learn how to dig in a coal mine. At any rate, I'm done ranting. Screw YouTube. And, yeah, that's it. So, my next video, if I post anything at all, will be a detailed summary and demonstration of how to use external tools to download and view content on YouTube without ever giving Google a dime. And apart from that, it's been fun. I've, for the most part, enjoyed uploading material to YouTube. We've had a lot of fun together. I helped tear down a MLM, a multi-level marketing scam. We've played tons of video games together, raised lots of money for Extra Life for charity. I think it was $2,600 total. Had over a decade of fun entertainment. I used to be the top search on for X3 Albion Prelude. But I've had my moment in the sun, and I think YouTube is just not worth it to me anymore. So, I will be transitioning over to Rumble and or Odysee. I'll be staying on Twitch as far as streaming goes until that goes tits up. It won't be long before I get banned from there either. Not that I've heard any complaints or anything, but they're worse than YouTube, and as far as I know. So, that's it, guys. Sorry it has to go like this, but it's not worth it to me anymore. The aggravation is just not worth it. So, yeah, thank you for all the memories. Thank you for the fun. Thanks for joining me on multiplayer stuff and having a good time with me. I'm not going anywhere as far as my Discord server and good old email. And I'll still be over on Twitch. Feel free to send me a message there. But yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot, guys. Love all of you. So long. Thanks for all the fish. Take care.